Hello and welcome to Talk Together. Thank you for joining us for an evening talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons or dragons or hags, who knows? I am Thomas Jancis. That's the first callback. We're 20 seconds in. And I will be your host tonight. And I am joined by the illustrious Warriors of Waterdeep themselves. We're very lucky. Everyone's waving. You can see surrounding me. We'll be asking some enticing questions and have a few adventurous anecdotes. What questions? Well, like so much in our lives, the dice will rule. They command and they will decide. So before we're kicking off, this stream will last for about an hour, and we are delighted to be sponsored by Heroes Forge, the Ultra Pro, and Elderwood Academy. And we are supported, rounding of applause, supported by Dean. Everyone clap the sponsors. Yes.
Even if we don't.
If you don't, it'll be noted who didn't clap. Oh, it's hideous. Yes, we are supported by D&D Beyond. We will stay on the tracks, at least for the introduction, and level up dice. But most excitingly of all tonight, we are sponsored by Warriors of Waterdeep. Pew, 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 pew. So we are Roll Together RPG on all social media, and a massive thank you to our D20 club, our dice heads, as we like to call them. They're on Patreon. Our shows are also available as podcasts. Just search for Niall being a dice head over there. A proper dice head, yeah. D20 head. Hold for visual joke. Visual joke accepted. There we go. Yes, so for the podcast, you just search for Roll Together RPG on your favorite podcasting app. We're nearly through it. So, before we kick off this chaos,
of course.
Welcome to this group, Tom.
Welcome.
Just again, I have been mainlining these episodes over the last few days. So just like 7 episodes in the last few days. The vibes. 1 hour. Here we go. I tell you what. Let's start with a teaser trailer before we get going. Okay. They are coming back for season 2. Right, so there was the teaser. Did you all enjoy it? Did you all have fun?
It was amazing.
Shiny, so shiny.
So shiny. Some would say too shiny, but they are wrong. They are wrong.
Too shiny.
I think we could do this really quickly. If you just really briefly introduce yourselves. Who are you? What characters? I'm saying this now because, again, watching the episodes with people just going, I always forget about this bit. So let's do it at speed. Chris, who are, what do?
My name is Chris. I use they, them pronouns. I am the DM of this game.
Ooh, Nat.
Hello, I am Nat. I use she, her pronouns. I play Thomas Tallstep, who uses he, him pronouns.
M.
Hi, I'm Emma. I use M or Emma as my pronouns, so that came out weird. And I'm playing Shibari, who uses she, her pronouns.
Niall.
Hello, it's me, Niall. I use he, him. I play Nem, and he uses she, her.
Anna.
I am Anna. My pronoun usage is multitudes. I do all the pronouns, and my character is Coriolis, who uses she, her pronouns.
And finally, but not least of all, Ed.
Hello.
Yes.
I am Ed. I am Ed. I use he, him pronouns, and the character I play is.
We're waiting.
No pressure or anything. Halvanet.
What's your name, friend?
Salam. I can't do it.
Salam to you too. What's your name?
Halvanet. Salah. Janelle.
Good.
That's how I'm doing it from Nat. No, I'm not going to say that. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Well done, Ed. Well
Thank you. They are the healer of the party. That's about all you need to know.
I just like the idea of screaming a final name wherever you are.
Whenever you introduce yourself,
yeah.
I'm Halbanet.
It's a very Brian Blessed move somehow, isn't it?
I feel like I should not do that with my name. It might get a bit aggressive.
How I want to die.
It would be very out of character for Shivareth to be.
Indeed, to make someone die completely.
Right. Well, tick those boxes. Let's hand ourselves over to the die. So I think.
Question Lord.
Thank you. Thank you for using my appropriate title.
You sound like you want to die.
I long for die. Yes.
One chance, spam the emote. Roll that dice, Tom.
Roll that dice.
Roll it.
Roll it. It's a natural 20.
Woo!
Yes!
Don, do we need to go on?
We win.
We win.
Does that mean we just stop?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone. That was great.
Or for your campaign, I'm like, I don't know, rare items for all. I can do that. Just
No.
Awesome.
Gems.
There are
Gems.
not rare items.
gems. Go on. Gems, Chris.
Could be gems. I don't know. I'll ask.
That'd be nice.
Actually, that's a question beside the question. Did people get extra gems?
Yes.
Because of all the gems. Amazing. That's
Baby.
that's.
You're
It could happen
welcome.
I did a good thing, and it's because of me. So, actually, speaking of natural 20, what surprised you about this game? You know, from your pre-understanding of how this was going to go to the end, what was the surprise?
Are we raising hands? What's the protocol here?
Yes. If you wish to, you could just jump in, but I appreciate the politeness. Yes, Ed.
Clarification only. When you say this game, do you mean as in this campaign, or do you mean D&D as a whole?
I meant for this campaign, but hell, even just tell me about life. What surprises you in life?
No. That would be. We'd be here for years.
I'm so confused all the time.
Life is mental in every direction.
It really is.
The surprise that I got on this was I thought that trying to flesh out the characters as we were given them was going to be more difficult than it actually turned out to be. I absolutely love Halbernet, and I created them as sort of a boring tick boxer, if you see what I mean. As like there's no. They were supposed to be boring. That was going to be their defining feature, and yet I've completely fallen in love with them, and I don't ever want them to anything to befall them that's bad ever.
Oh, don't worry, it can't. Nothing can befall these characters. They're licensed by someone else.
That is true. It doesn't take away the threat.
I know.
You say that.
Any
we'll die
character
next
played by
session.
you would be boring, Ed.
Oh, stop it at once. You're very kind. Thank you.
I mean, Ed, you've played a sentient gelatinous cube.
That's not a boring character. There's nothing boring about that concept.
Cube.
Mustn't know about that. That's true. I did play in fact, the character that got replaced by the gelatinous cube was just sort of gnomish gun artificer Batman, which wasn't as interesting as some of the other ones. And
What? Sorry. Let me just say gnomish gun artificer Batman, a character
That was
famously known
boring.
for their lack of use of guns, apart from if you're Zack Snyder.
I mean, well, this is what I mean. I wanted to change it up a bit, and it got changed, and it was good for a while. But then
I
they,
murdered you, that's right.
yeah, that was true. It was
To be fair, you nobly sacrificed in a rather wonderful way. This is completely off topic,
Should we
but it
return to Warriors?
let's try that.
We're here
Sorry.
to talk.
Let's talk more about the cube.
was like 4 a.m. in a
Chris.
barn in France. It was a lot.
Warriors of
It was. So that was surprising. Anything else? I realized surprise is such a strange sort of concept, you know.
I wasn't expecting there to be a romance in
Ship.
the
Ship.
season.
That's true.
Nope.
That's very true.
It was organic as well.
Yes.
Was I?
Yeah.
It was organic. The whole thing's organic.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, we didn't sit there at the top going, how do we flesh out this series? I know, let's hammer this in. I think at the top, phrasing. I think at the top I said something like...
There will be no hammering.
I mean,
no comment.
Naomi literally does hammer.
Oh, she hammers.
Oh,
She
God.
hammers.
Seconds.
Hammers every week, baby.
This is going to get to be a great deal more dubious than the stream. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Lydia said to us, if you want to flesh out the characters and do more stuff with them, feel free. I think we said in the session 0, if stuff happens, and it's fine if it does. But we didn't like pre-script that would happen. It was completely organic. And I will say this: the person that I'll be in contact with, Ludia Stephen, who is wonderful and has been on Talk Together before, he notes what we're doing. Like he'll send us notes. We send him episodes before they get streamed, and he gives us notes on them. And one of his favorite notes of his was, "Oh, cool! I didn't expect that at all. I like it though."
Good.
Who couldn't fall in love with Thomas? Thomas, we've seen the pictures. Thomas is a hottie, and
He's a hottie.
You can't
Javaris
share the
is.
pictures with anyone else, Anna. So
No, I know. And Shavarith is an all-powerful, terrifying, brilliant being.
Exactly.
Tale as old as
Which
time.
is hot in its own way.
It's all hot. It all comes under the umbrella of hot, you know.
Just look at you're all hot.
What are we going to do? There's going to have
All
to
your
be
characters
something.
deserve sweet kisses. It's fine. You're great.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, for me, again, I think you were talking about these in the episodes. That weird thing about going back to the game and watching, like, again, the fire giant, and
Yes.
I think Thomas just going, he was wearing glasses, and you're just like, and now when I'm doing the challenge and I'm just looking down, I was like, he was wearing glasses.
I think that was the thing that for me surprised me was that obviously the game, you have these characters, but the characterization is kind of the picture and a vague description, and that's kind of it. But yeah, I kind of bouncing off both of what's been said already, like the amount that we managed to flesh it out, and also what our imaginings have now meant for playing the game.
Yeah.
I mentioned
completely
before,
agree.
like it is now like, oh no, when I'm doing PvP and I have to kill Thomas with my Shivara, someone else's Thomas. Yeah, like
It's tough.
it's now an emotional connection.
What
other than the Hunter Jet.
What I've now also started to do is to cast roll together actors as the other characters. So a David Shears Jarl Axel is just a thing that happens
fits.
in my
Yeah, that
in
totally.
my head. You know, things like that. A Rebecca. Oh God. Who was Rebecca in my head canon? It'll come to me, and then I'll just shout the character out in the middle of the episode.
Should I just list the characters?
The bard. The bard lady.
Calliope.
Calliope,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Rebecca Calliope. That's it.
Very nice.
Calliope's Brian Posehn. I think we can just nick his character.
Well,
Yet we are.
Calliope is Rebecca now. I'm sorry.
Headcanon.
Headcanon is fine. Yep.
That was what surprised me. I remember Chris got in touch with me about doing this, and I had no idea anything about the game. I very rarely play on my phone unless it's Bubble Shooter. I love Bubble Shooter anyway. And then I started playing the game, and I was like, I wonder who they've got in mind for me. And then getting Naomlin was just a lovely surprise. That was like a genuine surprise. I had no idea what was gonna come to me, but I remember being cast as Naomlin to me was a surprise. I had no idea which character I was gonna play, but I think naturally I assumed I was gonna play someone similar to my own gender. But I think coming off Barda, maybe that was like a bit of a
purposeful casting choice was that no one plays their own gender.
Which is, I think it's really good.
Fair enough.
I think it's really good. I really like that.
I don't know why I was cast as Coriolis. I've got no idea. Why?
Chaotic as fuck.
Have you met you?
Let's go with the basics. Yeah, who could play that character better than anybody else?
I sound as light though.
Who is the most chaotic person we can find? Great, that's our wild magic sorcerer.
Yeah, kind of.
not meant in a bad way, Anna.
I embrace my own chaos.
You are all also individually incredibly talented actors in your own right, or performers in your own right, and the casting sort of came quite easily. I mean, we have a lovely group of players who we play with, and it came quite easily. I mean, we cast it like we would any other show that we do, basically.
It definitely fits. Everybody does a fantastic job.
And it's the thing of there's always it's an interesting thing the first few sessions of a campaign, because you're trying to get comfortable in your own character's skin. And that it takes a while, and often you can get, particularly if it comes back for sort of different segments, you can have that thing of like, you decide that your character is going to be slightly different in this segment because you want to make a choice for them. I don't feel like that's had to happen this time around, because they're all such clear and clearly drawn characters by everybody that it just slipping back into them it's like when you do a part in it as an actor, when you do a part in a show, the same part again, but like 10 years apart. You go, oh, this feels really familiar, but it actually gives you such confidence to be able to do more interesting stuff with them because you've got such a good idea of who they are, and that works really well. I think.
Very nice.
Agreeable nod. Agreeable.
That's all.
Quite acceptable. You have pleased the question, Lord. Right, here we go. Second in the chat. Roll that dice. That is a 5. Oh, God. Wow. Here we go.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Wigs and cosplay for the parts. Do you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs? Have you worn wigs?
I don't understand what you're talking about. What are you insinuating?
Absolutely nothing. I would like to talk about wigs and cosplay.
I went bald in 1973.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. There is the wiggery. No, that's not right. Sorry.
The wiggery. There is the wiggery.
I'd like to share with everyone.
17th century politics about it. Let's not.
I'd like to share with everyone the pack that these sideburns came from. This is like a cheap ass disguise kit off Amazon.
Really? Moustache not there.
You didn't tell us this beforehand. That's amazing. We have to get Thomas into a disguise at some point, and then you have to put on the entire thing.
Number one, we need to refund that for you. And number two, how many did you buy? Is it the same sideburns every time?
It's the same one, but eyelash glue has kept them going.
Oh, okay. Sorry, but I said those have held up remarkably well.
No, I have to eyelash glue them every time.
Oh my
That's
God.
tough. That's tough.
And then I have a gluey face. This is what I do for you.
My gluey face.
My gluey face.
I don't even put trousers on. I don't know why you're all making such effort.
I wore antlers once, but that's got nothing to do with Chivalric. I just
that's just awesome.
I just liked it. But I'm so jealous of Anna's wig though.
Yes, let's talk about that wig work.
Bow down.
That wig.
It's very knotty. She needs a brush. But I actually already owned my wig because and a few years ago, long story, my hair started falling out. So I started buying wigs in case I ever got sad that my hair had fallen out. And I already owned it. And also, like, I think I said this in the last session, but I have this headcanon that Coriolis has a single-use prestidigitation spell that literally she wakes up and is like, I think I'd like pink lipstick, glittery eyeliner, and I'd like to be wearing beads in my hair, and then clicks her fingers, and that's what happens. That's my headcanon. She just has tiny things, and I think that's...
So I presume all the characters have got used to this now, but I love the idea for the first while of all working together, waking up every morning was like, good God, what the hell is this? It's Coriolis, I see. Why
is it blue? Are you sick?
Yeah, exactly.
Help?
It did happen once.
Yeah.
Because of wild magic, therefore, that has to mean that some days it goes horribly wrong.
Well, exactly.
Yes, of course.
It's a cantrip.
I know, but
horribly right. Maybe it was horribly right.
Headcanon-wise, it's going to be like one eye suddenly goes green, the other one goes purple, and you go, no, it works.
Much like being thrown by the feather beard and the green skin and the almost being a sheep, like, I think Corey is thrilled by most weird things that happens to her. I think she thinks it's great.
You got to dig a feather beard, you know.
That feather beard was great.
It was really good.
Well,
We all know your feelings about feather beards now.
Sorry, everyone. For clarity, Niall, in a previous campaign, had a relationship with a skeleton with a feather beard who was good with his hands.
Apparently. We did not investigate. We did investigate further, but we shall not investigate further again.
The reason that we found out that he's good with his hands is you all went, how? 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 This is not Warriors. This is, again, just another game.
It's a completely different thing.
I'm good on my toes, you know.
No. Did you good with his toes as well?
More questions.
Chris.
Unnecessary. Roll the dice. Roll the dice.
Roll the dice. Will save us.
Roll that dice. Okay. Lucky question 13.
Ooh.
And I think this will be very fun. If you could put one of your already existing characters into Warriors, who would it be, and what abilities would they have?
Okay.
Take a moment. Yes, but knock me down with a feather, you don't say.
Only because I adore Prosperous, and just any chance to put Prosperous out into the world would be like, yes, Prosperous. And then just, Divine Smite, left, right, and centre, and Prosperous's main other spell, which was Sanctuary.
Oh, yeah. That would be really useful now. And I have it, and I haven't been using it. So thank you for the reminder.
I mean, it's up to you what you do with your spells, Ed.
No, but I think it's a good...
Prosperous is my, favourite little baby.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would it be Scythe Prosperous or Massive Sword Prosperous?
Ooh.
You'd have both.
It would.
Yes.
You could change the items, yeah.
Start with the scythe, and then you'd have to give the scythe to another party member because that has to
doesn't work in
happen.
game. That's just not...
And then you'd start throwing the sword at the back row.
So the sword upgrades to be the throwing sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Very good. Very good.
And also, P is gender fluid, so that would be a gender fluid character in the game, which would also be another benefit.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Good point. This is true.
Good
I
show.
don't know, I suppose, in the benefits of P.
So I was originally going to say my paladin idea, which I'll say briefly because I think she'd be a great character, but not for Warriors of Waterdeep if Prosperous is going to be there. So my paladin is a wine mum tabaxi, like a Pinot Grigio mum, who has live, laugh, love pillows in the house. And she's just
already.
I'm not a regular mum, I'm a cool mum. And, and she's just all ears and she's completely chill with her Pinot Grigio until what she's my kid. Yeah, that's my palette. So here's my promise. Next time I stream a Roll Together game where I make the character, I'll play Wine Mum Paladin.
Do it.
Good.
But please, can there be the little extra skill thing? Please, can there be a thing where the mother goes, right, it's time for the Riesling, and then can actually breathe fire by putting a lighter next to the...
Yes.
That would be amazing.
High on alcohol level.
Which is why it's so weird when it happens. No one expects it.
No one expects.
No, the movie needs to be called Hold My Earrings. The movie needs to be called Hold My Earrings.
That'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah. My other one that is my actual suggestion is an artificer. I've never played an artificer before, so in my other D&D group, we were like, let's just muck about with some artificers. This is Dram the Hobgoblin.
Yeah!
On Hero.
There he is.
Pills and his cigarette and his dynamite, and he's just like, what? And I think one of his actions is flinging dynamite at people. He's got his tiny cannon.
Great.
Awesome. I imagine that he flicks cigarette smoke in such a way that it just sets somebody's hair on fire. All that stuff. That's my
It's all offense. It's just fire and danger. Anyone else? Yes, Niall.
So my paladin character.
It's all paladins all the time. This is what M wants.
I've never been a paladin.
I actually thought of the first character that came into my head was a paladin character, but then I realised, we have a paladin in game. Well, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a druid.
There is Pickles in there.
There you go. Corrected. But I'm pretty sure there's no Warforged.
Yeah, there's no Warforged. That's right.
So I created, before I was part of
you were
Together,
Warforged Druid.
I created a Warforged Druid for a test game to see how I played, and their name was G, which was short for the Guardian of the Forest.
Ooh,
nice.
This is before I met G.
I'm
I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna 100% wait until I play with G to play G. just to fuck with him.
Brilliant.
But he was just this. The idea for the character was that he was a Warforged, from the Eberron book, where they were made for war, but then were left sort of stoically as a statue for years, and was woken up by a druid in a forest, was taught a new way of life, which was sort of helping the forest and cultivating and all that jazz. And then their friend sort of went, I need to go deal with something. Wait here for me. I'll be back. But all you need to do is protect the forest. And 10 years later, the Warforged was still in the forest waiting and was sort of, rationalizing how big the forest was. And they sort of went to the edge of the forest and saw there was another tree. So they were like, I guess the forest is a little bit bigger. And then they saw another tree. And they were like, oh, well, clearly it's a little bit further. It's like, oh, about a mile that way, there's a tree. So eventually the forest grew bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, I think having a Warforged druid would be really cool. As well as the fact, and this is what I forgot to do during the test game, the idea was that when they shapeshift, they turn into like a transformer animal. So it's like a mecha, it's like a mecha bear or a mecha bee or
I'm loving
something
this.
like that.
That's
But then
we
we came up against a mind flayer, and my first instinct was to prison shank it rather than turn into a dire bear. Something cool.
It's kind of like a sort of a more heartwarming druid version of Tom's character Pip.
It's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very true.
Who could be more harming than Pip?
They had like roses and stuff. I wonder, actually, I might have a picture saved on my phone.
Pip's heartwarming by accident.
Pip's heartwarming in a sort of you feel like he might kill you at any moment way.
Like nature.
Yes.
Like nature.
Yeah.
I resonate with that.
Resonate with a joint fear of nature.
That was actually like going back to the campaign where there was the bit where Hal saw the deer and was like, do I touch it? And I was like, don't touch the deer.
Don't touch the deer.
Absolutely
No.
don't touch the deer.
Not a good idea.
That was very sweet. Idea. Not a good idea.
I think that was one of the moments from the campaign that like we had quite a few wholesome moments, but that just felt so pure and so lovely.
It was
Like,
lovely.
yeah.
There we go.
Unexpected.
That was
wow.
gee.
The friend.
Nice.
And they had like little roses.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
They were a cutie.
Niall's character concept art, by the way. I don't know
Oh,
if
yes.
the audiences
Yeah,
get to see
it's
them
so
very
good.
often.
Yeah,
They're
It should
amazing.
be seen more. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
That's very good.
good.
Thank you very
Really,
much.
really good.
Thank you.
Again, like during the campaign, Niall was DMing where he was just like, "Oh, do you want to see what they look like?" And I was like, "Oh, cool." Niall's found a pic. Oh, Niall's drawn the picture.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Really impressive.
I
This
can't
is
draw,
how we do it.
and that's why I use Hero Forge.
Hero Forge available at this website.
Yeah.
Those who can't draw.
Those who
Yeah.
can't draw. Yeah.
Link in chat.
Yes.
Exclamation
I
mark.
would-
Nat.
I would want to stick Valka in the game.
Oh,
Big
Because-
Granny Valka.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's already Barbarian, but they're not Valka. And she, in terms of practical abilities, right, she's got her spectral ring of the ram, so she can attack stuff at the back lines, right? But also she would have ear pinchy move, so she could grapple things that are in the line next to her.
I like that.
So,
like restrain people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so she
You've
would
been
control both
restrained.
the back line and the front line.
Mhm.
That's good.
Just quickly for people who don't know, tell us about Valka. What does Valka look
yeah.
like? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I can get a picture of her that quickly.
Niall, get out the picture.
Go on now.
I've drawn all your characters.
You have the memes? Of course you do.
Because
I
the
made a meme.
Valka protect, she attack, but
brings
most
snack.
importantly, she bring the snack.
So let's go. Is that clear?
She protects, she
She
attacks.
attack, but most importantly, she brings snack.
She was my granny barbarian that was having a lovely time in Seekers of El
Cutest
Terrell.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
cute.
Oh, thanks.
So
There you go.
cute.
Oh.
And then that was the snack.
Macaroons were a whole thing in that
Biggest
campaign.
snack. Yes.
I did nearly. I think I nearly edited in the macaroon in her hand.
Yeah.
I think that's why I don't. Oh no, I did. There is a macaroon in her hand.
Yeah,
Oh, there she is.
you did.
I'm so good.
So good.
Ed or Chris, who would you like?
Well, I think actually, because I was thinking about this during the question, and a lot of things sprang to my mind, but purely in terms of practicality, and also because I think it would be good to have them back again, is actually my character from it was way back. I can't remember which year it was, but it was the second Edinburgh, when it was not the 250 hours, but the second one.
My
It was
God, that's a long time ago.
it really was. But it was a character called Gwendolyn Skull, who was a fighter pirate captain.
Nice.
Yeah, and there was in a because I live on a boat. This is what you see around you is the one room of a boat, and I can remember that there was an incident where the dungeon master at the time had decided that the boat that everyone was sort of living on got invaded by some kind of beast or piratical thing, And Gwendolyn came on after this had happened, and she felt so invaded. You know that thing when, like, if someone breaks into your home, it's not necessarily the stuff that's got taken, but the fact that you don't feel safe anymore. I had such a visceral reaction to somebody came onto my boat. That is not okay. And afterwards, to be honest, some of the stuff that I did to enemies was not broadcastable. It was not nice because it was like, you do not violate my space. It was a very, the thing was that it kind of got left like that because I didn't play again. And so I feel like the character needs a second,
Bring them back.
That's what I mean.
Wow.
Still very angry about the intrusion.
Yeah, a little bit. Give them some redemption. Exactly. Give them some.
At you.
Yeah.
What sort of abilities do you think, like kicking people off boats?
Revenge. Just come revenge.
It was being able to use two cutlasses at the same time, which I just love as an ability anyway. And also, Halbernet, I've been playing quite a lot of not necessarily clerics, but healers in the party. And I would like to go back to being not even necessarily the tank, but just the thing that kills.
Just play a paladin, Ed.
The thing that kills.
I was going to say, I've never played a paladin, and so yes, maybe that's the next thing.
Great fun.
That'd be
paladins.
Look,
all the time.
If you want to be the thing that kills people, just play a paladin and smite using all your spell slots, and when someone is dying, just ignore that you can heal them and just keep smiting.
Oh, you got lay on hands? You can just
Emma doesn't use lay on hands as a paladin.
As I said now, just ignore that you can heal them.
This is not the issue.
It's faster to kill the thing in front of you than it is to heal your party members. Then you can heal them afterwards.
That makes sense. Or they can just
wait
rest.
for them to go down, then just put 1 point in them,
Step in,
and then back up.
Save the day.
Yeah.
Chris, who would you like to pop in?
Well, I was thinking about Gertie because I love playing Gertie and it's a great voice.
Gertie
And the voice of that, and also Gertie can heal and do guiding bolts, which is a nice party-friendly thing. So that would work very well. That's from Emma's current game, Busted. Then I was thinking about the Artificer I'm about to play in another streamed game, but we've already mentioned quite a few Artificers. Tor is a character I play in a home game who is a West Country druid / barbarian.
But they're a squirrel?
They're a squirrel shifter. So they are a squirrel shifter druid barbarian, and they spend the entire time talking like that, and it's just the whole way through, and it's adorable. I love Tor very much, but then I remembered that Sanguine exists.
Oh,
Sanguine is my no, I don't think. I think Ed's the only person. No, Emma's met Sanguine as well. Sanguine is a warlock. Sanguine looks like the Dungeon Keeper from Dungeon Keeper.
Yes.
Sanguine's outfit started off as leather trousers and that's it, and eventually turned into chaps.
Okay.
Sanguine was most notable for having very good strength, dex, con, horrifically bad wisdom and intelligence, and incredibly high charisma. Was a fiendish warlock with a blade. None of the statting made any sense, but the whole point of Sanguine literally was me going, I have arrived. Where am I? And that was the entire gag of Sanguine. The entire joke was,
the visual.
Yeah, there it is.
No.
I guess it was, we must go and vanquish all of our enemies, except if it's Tuesday, because Tuesdays are not good days for vanquishing. Are they good days? I don't know. Anyone? And that was all I did. It was for an Edinburgh. Sanguine got played for a...
such a sweetie.
Yeah, but Sanguine got swallowed by a kraken and went, party time! And pushed the kraken through hell, going, Father, do you love me now? Like, there was all sorts of nonsense. Sanguine's the funniest idiot I've ever played. So
it was wonderful to watch, but also you definitely got the sense of literally anything could happen. It wasn't usually going to be good.
No.
That was the other problem.
The costume sounds entirely appropriate for a family-friendly game as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect.
And I was actually just going to say, because I do want to bring this character back sometime, but it's the home game that I played with Emma and Chris, which was Norodom, who was my portal jester.
Oh, Norodom.
They were. He was such an idiot, but such a wonderful idiot, because he had to be funny. If there was any chance to be funny, he had to be funny, and that meant hurting himself so much. But it was so much fun to play because it just meant that I had to look at every single situation, and rather than think, how can I be effective, think, how can I be funny? And it was much more fun.
Tragic.
You should play that character on stream. You did a really good job of describing that. Yeah.
Court jester who got tortured into being a court jester, therefore I have to be funny,
Had to be funny. It's fine, everything's okay. It was
dark. That's what it was.
I kind of now want to see a one-shot with all these characters.
Yes!
Again, let's run Warriors of Waterdeep one shot with all these characters.
The
I brought
B-team.
Sanguine back briefly as Red's patron in. It's like, I'm now a demon
No
lord,
way!
whatever. Like, I brought him
that's
randomly at one point in. I think it was. Was it Buried?
No, it's in Sea of Swords.
It's in Sea of Swords.
That was the voice.
That's Sanguine. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm a demon lord now.
Because you were literally like, what do you want? I'll give you. You need money? Here you go.
Yeah, Prosperous also.
Killing everything.
Killing everything.
Feeling
Sea
everything.
of Swords, yeah.
Oh.
Including Niall's character.
Including me.
No, that's
Minor
not true,
point.
actually. I let Sharmony kill you, but the thought was there.
I have to say, I think it was a team effort in killing me because, like, you went for me, I cast a spell, and you went no.
You were going to end the world, so I think it was fair.
I disagree, but we'll never know. Didn't happen. So, you know what I mean? Who's to say I'm wrong?
The world wasn't destroyed.
Exactly.
Fine.
It was that close.
Who would know? Do you know what I mean? Like, anything could have happened.
I know.
Anything.
And now everyone watching this does. It's out there in the ether. We're
I
judging.
feel like people will be on my side. Go watch
You
it.
rolled
You'll
a lot
see.
of really bad rolls and the universe started splintering. I'm just saying.
It was fine. All under control. That's just a Tuesday.
On the fact that it's just a Tuesday. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this party bus rolling. The Venga bus is coming.
No,
and
no. Do not incite those.
I will invoke the Venga bus.
And they come back, the world really will end. I swear to God.
Do you know, Ed, the Venga Boys played at a Cambridge ball when I was there, like, God, 13 years ago.
Why would you do that to yourselves? That's appalling.
I wasn't there. I wasn't at that ball, but they were there the year that I was there.
Ed, the Venga bus was coming, you
Wait,
know,
no,
15 years
let
ago, and it
Tom
has
roll.
never arrived. Therefore, it is still presumably
Let
coming.
Tom-
You can still hear the beat in the background if you listen
Oh
hard
God,
enough.
it's in my head now.
You see what I mean? You can't get it out of it. It's the worst earworm in the world.
No,
Why
that's
would
up
you-
and down.
Chaos!
The one you were singing was Up and Down, Chris.
No.
No. No. Shush. La 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 la.
And
The
down.
dice is rolling! Protect us from the Venga bus!
What's that?
Shut! No! God damn it, people!
I still can't hear what Anna said.
I asked if these are copyrighted.
Oh, probably, but I doubt the
Probably.
Venga boys are suing.
Yeah. Imagine if they did.
We want to get away from that as fast as everybody else does.
We don't like being a meme. Our song is very serious.
It's like, hey guys, I've been watching this D&D stream and they were doing a talk show and they started making fun of us. Yeah, let's sue them.
I was really excited about all the druids and the paladins now.
Then they started taking the mic and feelings.
Speaking of funny things, number 7. The funniest moment of the campaign.
Oh dear.
Here we go. Yeah.
First time that the gems came out of the Wonder.
Oh,
That
that's
was
good.
amusing.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Very good.
I think I'm going to let everyone else take this one because I feel like I could just list
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Do it. Do
I
it.
don't think there's a funniest. It's a
No,
list of
just-
here are the funny
think-
things.
When Thomas tried to climb the wall,
That was quite funny.
There
too.
is that.
Yes.
Yes.
That was beautiful. That was really
Good.
funny.
and at the
Pretty
same
good.
time, Nomelin failed to stealth into the castle, and it just
Yeah.
that whole
Fails.
moment when all of us were like, "Oh God, we're terrible."
Really bad.
Nomelin's insta-vom was possibly
Yes,
my favourite
that's-
thing
yeah.
ever. That was
That was
remarkable.
Well,
Because you had such a beautiful first episode, hiding under that cart, and then instantly hubris.
Yes, suddenly no longer
Yeah.
cool.
You only rise to fall.
Why do we fall?
and why did you keep falling in that episode? There
Oh,
was
every time.
there was
Yeah.
vomit. There was not getting in. There was there was all sorts.
An
The
ogre
zombie-
stubbed its toe on a Thomas.
The ogre stubbed its toe on Thomas and died.
That was the coolest.
That was the high point. And
Yeah,
then
that
it
was
all
amazing.
The zombie pond, the iceberg and the zombie
The
pond.
iceberg. I was
Iceberg
going to say
and
that's
zombie
my
pond.
favorite. That was my funniest bit.
It's
I
so
just
dumb.
No, but that was the thing. It was because it started and everyone was like, no, lean into it. Lean into it. We don't want this to stop. That would be a really bad idea.
Yeah.
However this is going to work, we're just going to work with it. That was what I really liked. And that was what I found really funny because I really like it when D&D goes completely ridiculous and everyone goes, no, let's just keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite bit about it.
My personal enjoyment came from Chris's face and expression when I revealed that my plan for this giant skeleton boss was to just kick it over the edge that Chris had provided with us, and then succeeding. I genuinely, I have never had as much pleasure from like coming up with a decent. It made sense. It just made sense, and the rolls were there.
It was very, very nice.
Chris's face just like, yep, I've got to deal with this now.
I was about to say, the moment that I laughed hardest, which none of you will agree with me on, was the pit trap. I found that so funny. Because you kept going, we've got a solution, we're making it worse. Oh my god, it's so much worse. And it just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. I can see how that was objectively funny. It's like The Office. I can see how it was objectively funny. It made me squirm.
I really enjoyed all of, to follow on from that, I really enjoyed all of your faces when we all waited, you carefully tied the rope, and then I, in a moment of just, I don't know, madness, was like, oh, I guess I'll just jump off the edge.
That was very funny. Until you hit the water, I was worried, was the problem. Because there was some serious jeopardy in that. That was the thing that can't be, often things aren't that funny in the moment, because you're like, oh my god. Oh, that's hilarious. That's great.
I just like that too. The pond had so much, like, again, like the nice shipping moment, then go, oh, remember, we all smell zombie at the moment. Yeah. This is really lovely.
Yeah.
All the extra factor. To the point where now I was like, you could have just turned undead. I'm just saying. I'm not judging. I'm just commenting either way. Yeah, actually, that would have saved a lot of time, but...
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of this kind of game where you're like, oh yeah, I suppose I could have done that, but it wouldn't have been funny. It wouldn't have been an iceberg.
Yeah.
Things that make me laugh all the time is because I'm not a particularly experienced player, and I really struggle with action economy. So I'll often just be like, there's this real world thing that happens, which is that lightning is conducted by water. Let me try and use this to my advantage. And everybody that knows the mechanics looks at me and goes, and I just watch everybody else's, and I can tell it's a bad idea, but everyone's face is giving me so much enjoyment that I continue.
I let you conduct that lightning, and it was bad.
It was very bad, but very funny now, I think. And that's what I mean about the Jeopardy thing. At the time, you're like, is my character going to die? But then when afterwards, it's like, no, this is brilliant.
I do love
the chimney
Chris.
as well, equally.
Yeah, the chimney.
Oh god, the chimney! I forgot about the chimney.
The random oven.
It was both trying to get out of it. It was great.
That was really fun.
I nearly cooked Thomas.
You did. I would have been really cross if you had. To be fair, in that combat, I also really enjoyed both me and Niall, who are not particularly charismatic characters, both there going like, how do we communicate with this thing that we cannot touch, and try to roll a charisma check after charisma check that we're not,
Never going to work.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
As a party, charisma is not our strength.
No, well, it's
me.
Corey.
Harry is the shining beacon of charisma, but the rest of us are...
It's quite a nice balance for that. You've got one super smart character, you've got one, high dex character, you've got one high strength character. You have, like, party roles feel very fulfilled in that way. So it does.
Oh, it's a very balanced pie. Like, very
weirdly
very
so, considering we were not, well, I mean, I don't know how much the choices of characters were concentrated on, but I did not create Halbernet to be a particularly good anything. Just... how I thought that they should be.
They've lived this long.
Yeah.
They've had some success. Yeah. I've done very well, actually.
Yeah.
Thank
Chris, you were quite good at keeping us, like, for the roles, because, I don't know if this is, like, known, but you like having characters that have, like, minuses, like, scores.
I really do.
I think quite, I don't know if a few of us have, I don't think any of us have minuses.
I don't think so, but...
I think I do on strength.
I do on dexterity, which has been brilliant thus far.
I like playing characters with minuses. I think it's fun. I think it's more fun. I like having things that I'm exceptional at and things that I'm awful at, because it means as a player I can go, cool, let's do that for comedy and that for,
I think that really works. I
like that balance.
It's a lovely balance,
As a DM, I like to push players in that direction, so I think it makes more interesting storytelling. But, I mean, honestly, the character sheets and the stats were prescribed. They had existing character sheets before we played them. So it was a matter of going, what are we keeping, what are we throwing away? And we did some little tweaks here or there, but I did... Because they've got the classic strength dex stats in-game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they affect anything, but they're there. So I thought I may as well use them. It seems silly to go, well, we'll just make our own. Like, no, we think Hal is predefined as being not very dexy, because Hal is quite old. Like, and that then influenced the character in the game and influenced Ed's creation of the character in this actual place. So I felt like it made sense to keep all of those as much as possible. But then, like, feats, for example, we tried to make people good, or also just try out interesting ideas, like giving Hal inspiring leader. in the new campaign,
which they now do in their sleep, which elves don't do, which is that makes me so happy.
I do like the idea that Hal doesn't realise that they're not sleeping.
Yes.
I'm doing some excellent meditating right now. Fast asleep.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Adorable. Right.
Parent in the corner.
Yeah, our grandparents, so inspiring. You're right, grandparents. We should fight for the day. No, keep going. No. I believe in you.
Back in my day.
Yeah. Again, those were always beautiful. Like the bit with the talking to the skull after the fight, and then where just like Thomas just being really sweet and just like, tell me about being underground, and Hal's like, well, I know what you're doing, but yes, this is a chance to give you some drink water and sleep. You're like, just generally good life advice. That's inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was good.
Oh, just
That's very sweet.
let's roll that dice, shall we?
Yeah.
No.
Number 11.
Came back up.
So we're going into season 2, and you've gone
Electric
on season 2. Dragon Boogaloo. It's just everything's a Boogaloo in season 2. That's the character progression. How do you think your season 2 character would feel meeting the beginning of season 1? You know, interacting. Would they like each other? Would they be confused by the changes?
Game respects game, you know.
Badass to begin with, badass to carry on.
Yeah. Still an ass.
In every way.
I feel like she would take her cloak.
What?
Take her cloak.
Just have her cloak.
Oh, that is not what I thought you said.
Yeah,
Just clothes? Is that what you want?
No, take the cocaine. Take
Take the coke. Take all the coke.
I don't think Shifara's changed that much necessarily. Like she learned a lot from the other characters, but I don't think she has visibly changed significantly.
I mean, you have a new character sprite on the overlay, so I'm just saying, like, you did.
Did I get a new cloak?
Well, it's on the sprite.
Did Lariel give me a new cloak?
No, it's on the sprite. You haven't got it in game yet.
Rude.
Rude.
It's a hard one because I don't think that she would be like, hey, this happened. But also, I think she might be like, hey, we're no longer in the deconstruction business.
Deconstruction business.
There's a spoiler for you.
That was one of the best jokes.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
That was really funny.
I feel like the two Corries would be like, you know, when two dogs meet for the first time?
Smelling each other's... No, okay.
Yes. No, but I feel like the Corey number 1 would be like, tell me everything. And then they'd sit over coffee and she'd be like, well, I've got friends now. And there's this one called Naomi and she does this. And I got this wand and I can't wait for you to see what it does. And I can't. And then, oh my God. And then you're going to get to meet Thomas. And Thomas is like really cool and strong. And then you're going to get to meet Halbernet. And Halbernet can do the healing stuff, which is, you know, good because you've got Stephen and all. Do you still have Stephen? I've still got Stephen. And I think they just have this whole...
Oh, Stephen! Oh,
God bless Stephen. Another very funny moment that we elided over.
Yeah.
It was. It was
Too many funny moments. That's why.
Stephen Molantis.
Even crawling out, just tapping on my head, going back again. Oh, Stephen. But yeah, so Gori would just break the space-time continuum completely and just go, this is everything that's going to happen, you're going to love
everything.
Classic
tempting to do that every day, I think, is what Corey does.
Yeah.
I'm you from tomorrow. Made a really good breakfast.
I think... supposedly the difference between the two is that Halbernet has learned to have fun. And so I think it would be interesting because I think that perhaps the sort of before any of the campaigns started, Halbernet would meet the current Halbernet and go, what a pillock. Because they would be too concerned with sort of, no, the rules and regulations need to be followed. And if you're part of a party, you need to be the most efficient thing you can be for the party. And this was part of the reason why I thought it would be so interesting playing Halbernet, because suddenly I would be, the character would be someone who would be desperately wanting to be efficient. And I've never been like that in any campaign I've played in, as people will tell you. And therefore I was like, right, I'm going to start with this and see how it works. And it was just the fun thing was what I needed to break through to the character more. And so, yeah, I think it would just be, they wouldn't have a conversation because the first one would just be, I've got better things to do than this.
Yeah, Shivareth has similarly softened a lot over the.
Yes, definitely.
Become less of an arse, shall we say? Since
Exactly.
The start.
Hearts in your eyes will do that to a gal.
Unlike
Yeah.
Well, you know, you can't.
Still a butt.
You can't spend that much time with Thomas and remain.
Yes, unsoftened.
I think conversely, Thomas would look back upon his episode 1 self, and I mean, he's still a little naive, but I think he would recognize the naivety
Yeah.
that he had, and the shyness, and I think because he's grown in confidence, maybe not around authority figures, but around the team.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
This is a minor thing. I keep a diary. Not even vaguely regularly now, but I did for ages. And one of the things I noticed was that because I would read back a few pages when I wrote in a new entry to see what I was saying beforehand, if you see what I mean. And I've started off so many entries with, I'm such an idiot. I've just read back over what I was doing. But I realized after a while, it's like, I keep saying that. So I don't think I'm not being an idiot. I think it's just the idiocy is always there. And I wonder if it would be the same thing with Thomas. It's like, oh, okay, I need to, well, I just keep learning, I suppose.
Yeah.
Which works.
It is somehow such a you thing, Ed, to keep a diary that is basic entries going, I just reread the last entry and I'm such a moron, I did it again.
Yeah.
That is such a you thing somehow.
Completely.
Diary, I've just written in you because I was upset about this and I realized I was upset about this last time.
Yes. I'm not learning any lessons. This is all just for some future writer who's going to go, what an idiot. Anyway.
I'm interested to know what we think our second season characters would feel if they met first season each other. Does that make sense?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh no, I think Halbert would just be really keen on everybody because it's kind of like, oh, now I can be nicer, or at least like I can be,
I can make a better first impression.
right,
Yeah.
which they were awful at before.
Emlyn would do everything the same.
Wow.
Love that.
No regrets.
No.
Naumlin is a universal constant.
Exactly.
like gravity
Batman.
and time.
No branching. It's consistent.
I think I feel like second season Corey would not try and be competitive with first season Shivareth.
Well, I think Shivareth is wise to Lariel now, because Lariel is an arse, and Lariel pitted them against each other in the first episode, and I think Shivareth would not fall for that now.
That is improvement.
That is true.
Probably Shivareth would make an enemy of Lariel by being like, what the fuck are you doing? Instead, which is
Get out.
probably not an improvement.
Oh, I see. Well, depends.
I am really glad that Corey and Shivareth got over their competitiveness so quickly. Looking forward to a whole campaign of 2 women fighting.
Yeah, that would be horrible. Yeah.
I do hope somebody in this group, maybe not kills thingy, but like I feel like that's the thing we need to focus on. Not
She's like,
Kills Lariel?
Yeah, season 3.
Sorry,
Let's kill Lariel.
We could probably, as a group, take her in a few levels.
I don't understand. No, I meant as in like gets the better of. I didn't mean as in like I wanted them to die. Her to die.
I don't know if it counts as cheating or not, but I was intrigued. I looked up her stats. She can punch people with her hair.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
So cool.
That is pretty cool.
Lariel is the holder of the spellfire.
In a home campaign where I also play a blue paladin because you are what you are.
Because
Yes.
Emma's gonna Emma.
Yeah. I have also happened to piss off Lariel.
She's just a constant source of irritation for everyone.
Because I am who I am.
Yes, perfect.
I don't know if you've pissed off Lariel so much as Lariel's involved with your entire adventure.
No, it was me personally who pissed off Lariel.
It's been decided.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am now picturing a version of the game after you kill Lariel, and then there's no like narration or anything. You just everything's falling apart, and you're like, I don't know, go to the mountains.
Try
I
it.
haven't.
In that version, I think in that version, Corey becomes the monarch. Corey has the best charisma.
Absolutely. Picked out of everybody.
Corey's not the most
Open
powerful.
Lord of okay.
I think it would be.
Corey's gonna
I'm
try.
put a vote in for Shivareth.
I think there would be a vote.
Everyone else up.
If someone was going to become the new Open Lord in Waterdeep, it wouldn't be any of you
Yeah, no, it would
chuckle
one
fucks.
of
I'm
the-
sorry.
It would be one of the elven sisters who rule the whole of the Sword Coast.
You'll note, I didn't say she becomes the Open Lord of Waterdeep. I said she becomes the monarch.
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 I mean, if you fuck with Lariel Silverhand, good luck dealing with her 6 sisters who are all insanely old and powerful. Good luck.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
As long as we take them one by one, we'll be fine.
What I took from
Hang
that
on.
statement, though, that Anna made, was not that Coriolis should become the Open Lord or the Monarch or whatever, but was that if Lariel was gone, who would narrate the game? And wouldn't it be amazing if Corey was like, which way do you want to go, left or right?
Yes, that's brilliant.
Better ground like that
I
door.
want to go backwards.
On the quest.
That door
We've
smells
run out
funny.
of
That
snacks.
door looks funny. It's up to you, really.
I'll make more
Goodness,
gems.
ogres.
It's the best day ever.
That door looks more shiny.
Let's go
Go for the gems. Why? Because I feel like it.
Fuck! That door just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can't say fuck. You wouldn't
That's
be
a good
allowed.
point.
It'd be
Crumbs.
Oh, beep.
It's the beat track.
They'll bring in
That's
our
right.
beat track into the game. That's become part of the game now
Oh, yeah.
because Corey's now the narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. I also think this makes perfect sense why season 2 character comes back. Imagine like season 2 Thomas coming in and going, there was a terrible incident. We need to fix the timeline.
So season 2 Thomas knocks down on season 1 Thomas's door and goes, Marty, you gotta go. There's something wrong with your kids.
That would be
Season 2
brilliant.
Thomas going, you could save a lot of people. And Thomas was like, well, that does sound important.
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
Not sure.
You just, Thomas, don't go to the inn. I'll go in your place. And then turns up and like, hey, guys, let's not try and overthrow anyone.
He's not at that level of confidence yet, but
No.
like maybe season 7 or 8, Thomas. is Like,
It's
door
going to take that
kicks
long.
down,
I'll
grab
take him
Shabara,
to the
give her a
three kids.
snog, like point a finger at Naomlin and be like, I'm watching you. And like crack up to Laurel and be like, all right, here's the map. Here's where we're going. Let's do it.
I love the idea that even in the future, Thomas still doesn't trust Naomi. There is no, their relationship is just, if anything, gotten worse.
Yeah, over the course of the thing. Amazing.
I wouldn't put it past Naomi.
No, me neither.
Just so many branching timelines.
Oh, yeah.
What happens? You're Monarch. Oh, cool.
Wait, what? Kind of reaction.
You died in a weekend. Well, it sounds like a good weekend.
Amazing.
Right. How are we doing for... Yeah, we're doing okay for time. Let's do another. Yeah, let's do another one.
One more.
Chaos.
Chaos.
One time.
Celebrate.
Number 2.
Okay.
So, what other franchises would you like to adapt into a D&D game?
Hot damn.
Okay.
Hot diggity.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should not go
actually
first.
was talking about this to a friend.
Sorry.
Totally there for that. But what were you saying, Niall?
The board notes Shira.
It's actually a paladin. Oh my god, yes, sorry.
That would be
Sorry. I'm
amazing.
sorry now.
Please
I'm
make
sorry.
Shira for a game we play, and that would be awesome. What were you saying, Niall?
Sorry.
I think it was too good an idea, Em. I think he's just you cleared everything.
That's
I'm
so good.
sure someone's made a She-Ra TTRPG, haven't they?
You could literally just play Shira in the D&D universe. You just
That'd be great.
I'd be banging though.
Oh,
You know,
God.
it'd be-
Princesses. you've
Can you
got-
just
well, yeah.
run Shira as a D&D
Can
game?
we do that?
Can we just?
I mean, I have to check
We'll
about
sort it out.
licensing, but you know,
you've got a space. You've got a space for a home game? Can we just play Shira, please?
Like the
no,
attack.
it's an existing TV show. We all know what happens.
I'm gonna play.
No, but you do like a
I'm
spin-off
gonna play
one.
She-Ra.
Do you know what I mean? Like after the show.
That's the only important thing.
Hang on, slow down. First of all, if you want to play Adora, I can make you Adora. It's a paladin warlock.
I don't need you to make me Adora.
I have the sheet already.
D&D game and stop wanting to play She-Ra.
No, I don't need you to. I want you to make a D&D game based on Shira.
She-Ra. Yeah.
I mean, I can think
Because
about
that's very possible, surely.
it. No.
It totally would work.
Oh,
And
Anna has an idea.
Okay,
Yes.
I'd like to make a pitch for the Disney classic Treasure Planet.
Oh, that's a great choice.
That's a good
So
call.
you'd have your
Such a good
rogue with the little skateboard that can fly, and then you've got the captain who's Emma Thompson, and the dog who's an inventor. It's brilliant. A robot, you've got a Warforged there already. There's a cyborg with a leg and a gun and a whatnot. You know, it would be incredible.
Everything we need.
With a leg and a gun.
It's the fact that it's sci-fi steampunk. Because it is like everything is spaceships, and they fly through space on galleons that happen to have wings. Like, it's very Spelljammer. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to make that pitch, please. If anybody would like to fund it for me.
Yes.
I'll
It's not a
chat to
Kickstarter.
Disney, I guess. Can we revive
doing
this thing that
anything with
killed your
it.
animation arm? Yeah, can we do that?
We can make Home on the Range. They don't care about that. That's what killed Disney. Congratulations, you're all playing cows.
Calling a Disney exec, hey, by the by, can we make a TTRPG of Home on the Range?
Yay!
Why?
Actually quite exciting. Finding the things that didn't do, like Emperor's New Groove. Everyone loves, but doesn't get enough love. And you're like, cool.
No, hang on. If we're going to talk about Disney, Emperor's New Groove, everyone loved and did really well. The thing about Treasure Planet is Treasure Planet killed their 3D animation arm.
That's
they were
true.
thinking of integrating 3D animation and traditional animation into movies. And Treasure Planet cost them an absolute fortune, and it just didn't work. It didn't buy in properly. And it came out the same time as, I want to say, Atlantis or something similar by a different animation. And the whole thing just clashed really badly.
Yeah. I was going to say, this would be a tough one because it wasn't that long a TV series, and also because I think they're remaking it now and it might go horribly wrong, and I'm so scared. But does anybody remember The Storyteller?
What, John Hurt?
John Hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
It was okay. So it was made in the early '80s. So the CGI is janky as all hell.
Nice.
But it was written by Anthony Minghella, the guy who did the screenplay for The English Patient, I think. And it had John Hurt in my favorite role he ever did, which is really saying something. And it was okay to broadcast at 8:30 on a Saturday, but at the same time, it was dark and beautiful and horrible, and like it was telling fairy tales like they're supposed to be told. And if I could play, well, no, I couldn't because I'm not going to be a dungeon master. But if you could have a dungeon master who was John Hurt telling us these stories, I would be.
Yeah.
No, Ed, I think you have to do it now. Just read the book.
Also, we can't get John Hurt to do it. John Hurt's dead.
That is a
Not with that attitude, we can't.
We have necromancers. Come on.
We're seeing again. Disney's able to bring back so many people from the dead.
Oh God! Don't bring Disney in on The Storyteller. That would be the worst of all.
I mean, it's CGI. John
Hang on. Who did it? Who produced The Storyteller?
I
BBC?
can't remember. No, it wasn't the BBC because they produced videos of it. It was
ITV.
could have been. I can't remember. But, no! It was Jim Henson. That was who it was.
Oh, great! So it's
they were the
Disney
ones-
again.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah.
Love it.
Shame.
So, hey Disney, can we reanimate John
No.
Hurt and
No.
CTRPG?
No.
They've got the money for it.
No, that's not the point. We should not do it just because they can.
Should I promise a John Hurt impression?
Now,
Oh yeah, my additions to the list would be the now owned by Disney again. I think I don't know, but the either Labyrinth or Dark Crystal. Although there is a Labyrinth TTRPG,
Really?
which I need to look at because I only know that because what am I rolling did a podcast on it recently. But yeah,
If it's good, I would love to play that. But
Yeah.
I did a.
I just want to be the worm that's like hello.
Yeah. Hello.
I did a one shot
come and meet the
based on Labyrinth, which was a good time.
Is it worth? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
because there's so many characters in that, all of whom could be played very effectively.
Absolutely.
Dark Crystal's the one with the puppets, yes?
It's the previous one. It's the one
it's
before
just been,
Labyrinth.
it's just
they
been,
just remade, yeah.
it's just been remade because again the license reverted.
Oh.
So-
They did the Netflix series.
The Netflix series, yeah, which is
The
I think Netflix funded even.
Yeah, but it was
the franchise I
one
was going to
series.
suggest.
Don't know.
Oh, go on now.
It's all right. We're back at the start again. I actually recently did Mortal Kombat for my friends in D&D. I had a pleasure doing all the characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Reptile and Ermac and all those jazz. But where my heart really lies is in a franchise, a book series called Skullduggery Pleasant. And if anybody's read it,
great.
I will
It's
finance it. Yes.
it's such a great world, and I really think that as a TTRPG, it would really work. I think for D&D, you would have to. I don't think it really falls into categories of D&D. I think you'd have to make a new system, but you could certainly use the D&D format as like a starting point. And I think it would be a really, because you'd have 2 classes essentially, and then just subclasses of each one. And I think there's some sort of like space to at least allow players to create, especially so if anybody hasn't read them or know the series, there are 2 sorts of magic users. There's elementals and adepts. Elementals use the elements, fire, wind, blah blah blah, earth, and adepts basically do 1 point of magic and get really good at it. And there's like really interesting. I think there's a certain mechanic where you as a player could come up with, right, I want to do this, and then you'd have to build what you could do. I think it'd be a really interesting thing to do, because like there's characters that can run up walls and lock doors, and then it's revealed that what their actual power is gravitational potential. Nice. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. One of them, which is a spoiler, for those, is everybody comfortable with it? So
don't do spoilers.
No. Well, it's
spoilers.
It's there. It's just if anybody here doesn't want it being spoiled.
Yeah, no, don't do spoilers.
There's an audience watching this now. I'm just saying.
There's
no one out there. Is it about someone's secret power that you don't know what it is?
There's a character that says, I know things.
Yeah.
And that's what the character says consistently. I know things. And a friend of mine figured it out and then confirmed it. And I have to say, that was a really clever way of getting around that. And I recommend you figure it out.
Anna, I see the hand.
Oh, sorry, I have a second pitch for the Princess Bride.
By all means.
But there's no magic in that.
Add it. Also, there are magic spells and shit.
It's love.
Billy Crystal plays a magic character, doesn't he? Or like a kind of
miracle
healer.
Yeah, Billy Crystal plays a magician. Like it's
he's obviously a fraud. No, but I just know, like you put the characters from the Princess Bride into a D&D like realm, fine. But I feel like playing the campaign of the Princess Bride would work.
No, because then you have the rodents of unusual size.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Include all of the elements in a D&D thing, but don't do the Princess Bride story as a.
There's a swamp that belches fire. I'm pretty sure that's magical.
Yeah.
You put an extra layer there, and you're playing someone who's playing Peter Falk, telling the story of the Princess Bride.
Yes, incredible.
That would be amazing.
Incredible scenes.
So, in which case, but if you're doing that, then the DM has to put on the Peter Falk voice. Another thing.
Absolutely. And then who plays the kid that's like, is this a kissing book?
Yeah, Fred.
Fred. Not Fred.
All the players.
Durst?
No,
from the Wonder Years.
Fred
I'm just going to note, as a DM who doesn't do voices, your DM never has to put on a voice.
No, that's true.
Actually, no, that is true.
Your DM never has to put on a voice.
Unless you want to, right? Then put on all voices.
Exactly. I'm bidding for Power Rangers.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh,
yes.
Go Power Rangers.
His Dark Materials.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Can we take out the Jesus bit at the end of his Dark Materials and still do it?
No, we need it all in. I'm interested in what they're going to do with the TV series when people cotton. You're like, yeah, they're going to kill God.
To be fair, Chris, the story of his Dark Materials is basically the home campaign I'm running at the moment.
It's true, yeah.
But just in Fantasyland.
Yeah, you replace God with someone who is definitely terrible.
Called Al.
Except that in his Dark Materials, it's God, and there's a certain point where you go, this got awkward. Oh, they're not adapting that bit into a movie.
They realm hop, which you
did Preacher.
I mean, I didn't base it on his Dark Materials, but actually, if you think about it, it's very similar. Yeah. They're teenagers, you're teenagers. Like, it's strikingly similar.
Battle to Nile. AMC did Preacher. That's a different ball game.
And they literally killed God. I was really surprised because I was like, America, they're not going to do that, and then they did it, and I was like,
It's like someone said, "Hey, for Vice magazine, someone took a lot of drugs and wrote about it." Yeah, no surprise.
It's really not that much of a surprise, exactly.
I write for Vice magazine. I just jumped off a cliff, and now I'm writing about it as I fall. Yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
And then I killed God. Read all about it. Yes, Anna.
So this is not something that I think we should adapt, but I would watch the shit out of a D&D stream that was the characters from Hustlers.
Ooh, I do not know Hustlers.
Constance Wu and Lizzo and J-Lo, and they're all sex workers and strippers, and it's a great film. It's a brilliant film based on a true story. But I just watched it, and I'm like, I would watch the shit out of a campaign.
You want to live in that world?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. That's the fantastic thing about like a good franchise is you know something's a good franchise when you sat back and you go, what would I be in this world?
Yeah. When you start making those decisions, exactly.
Yeah. And in Mortal Kombat, I'd be one of those dead guys.
Me too. Definitely not powerful enough to be able to get anywhere in that crap.
No,
I like
did
to
you
be
have
the guy
fatalities? Did people get hearts ripped out?
Yes. Yeah, we had. I set up a system so it'd be like each character had like a person to fight off. Sometimes there was 2v2 games, but I created all the player characters. No, I created all the NPCs. The player characters came with their own sheets. But when it came to a player versus an NPC, I gave an NPC to a player and said, "Look, fight each other, have fun." And unfortunately, it meant that I think 2 out of 3 fights happened for PCs, and 2 out of 3 died. And it meant that there were more bad guys than good guys by the end of the session. And I was like, we've just had a game of pure fighting, and there's not really been much story. I've cocked this up a little bit.
No, what you have to do is do what Mortal Kombat Story Mode does, and just hand wave everything. I'm literally going to be like, you're all alive again now.
Yeah, you can go into the soul pit and find someone's soul.
Raiden came down and went, no.
I don't think so.
At the end of the most recent game, as far as I recall, the cinematic at the end, you're fighting time, who then rewinds time.
Yeah.
You have all the powers of everyone, so you kill her, and then you go, no. And that's the end of the game. That is it.
It's been a real, like, I'm really excited for the next one. Sorry to go on a Mortal Kombat tangent.
The story mode is such pants.
I think they can go anywhere.
Can I move away from Mortal Kombat, which I know nothing about, and just go on a brief tangent about Hades, which I think would make a really good D&D game.
That's true.
If you made a series of encounters and you changed them every time, but then you had a home base which you went back to, and you could make encounters that your PCs would die in, which you can't normally do as a DM. You can't normally kill your players.
It's true.
So you're normally starting encounters very carefully.
Emma, who first campaign for Roll Together, killed all the players.
I started that encounter very carefully to kill the players, but normally
you're playing Hades.
Come close.
Normally, you have to start encounters very carefully, not to kill your players. And I think a setup like that, where you could actually start encounters very carefully, so that they could be fatal, they could not be fatal, and there were things that could happen at home that could change when you went out, when you came back.
Nice.
Doing an underworld story like that could be really interesting. It would need the right group of players who understood the setup and how that was going to work. But I think that could be a really interesting setup to work with.
Definitely.
It's a cool concept.
Yeah, finding a way to structure repetitive process.
It wouldn't need to be repetitive encounters, though. That is Hades that has repetitive encounters. But if you were DMing it, you wouldn't need to.
You could easily change it.
You have the roguelike elements of having a list of loot that they could possibly find, and it is a roll of the dice every time.
Yeah, and specific NPCs that you could meet out on the road, but you meet different ones depending on where you go.
And the more you get to know the NPCs, the more stuff they give you, the more value they give you in allowing you to get further. You level up as you go, so it gets easier as you go. Yeah, that'd be great fun.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Just write a game.
I think we did.
Okay,
That's one of the things that happened
for Hades.
just take the producer hat on for a second. Next thing happens is I call the people who make Hades and go, "Hey, so TTRPG," and then we see what happens next.
Nice. Good call.
I think on that note, as we create a new...
I'll call them. I don't know.
Please do. I'm very excited for this.
And then we'll get in touch with NetherRealm Studios.
Yeah, it's all going to happen.
I have it in there. That's fine.
Ed Boon on speed dial.
Chance to play the Toasty Man. It will come. Right, on the note of Toasty, I must round it up. First of all, big thanks to the Warriors of Waterdeep.
Thank you. Thank you for being awesome.
Yes, so if you have enjoyed this nonsense, to be honest.
It's chaos.
We have 2 campaigns running at the moment. So this chat show will be running every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. GMT. And our streamed games on Monday, 6 to 9 p.m. GMT, we have Flustered in the Feywild, where everything is beautiful and nothing hurts. It's all fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's having a great time in the Feywild. And speaking of everything being fine, Tuesdays we have Halls of the Undermountain King. It's fine. Everything's fine. They're going to meet the king. We love the king.
Yep.
So all of our shows.
Coriolis, motherfucker.
Plot twist, Coriolis just turned down. It's like, surprise. One.
You get a wonder. You get a wonder.
Gems just pouring down from the ceiling.
Yeah, incredible.
What a way to die, though. So, yes, our streams, they are at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg, and there will be a YouTube link in the chat. Don't forget, you can also enjoy this as a podcast, which is good if you're, I don't know, doing your gardening, although you're going to miss the confusion on the faces.
The endless confusion.
Yeah.
It's always is the delight watching this back and just picking up on what you missed out. You're like, that person who's just there going,
What? Why? How?
Or today with people very politely putting their hands up. Yes, I see it. I'll get to you. Right. Finally, big thanks to our D20 club on Patreon, our dice heads, all our sponsors, especially Warriors of Waterdeep at the moment. Look at the dice head. Look at the dice head.
Look at the dice head.
That was a pyramid head. That was disturbing.
Yeah.
Hold the pyramid head.
Jesus God, that's a really big dice.
That's good.
That's a really big dice, Em.
Is that a table shaker?
Yes.
That's the level of dice.
And in conclusion, what can I say but stay classy at the table?